energetic group, Everyone got their coffee, help yourself, some grapes, bagels. Thank you so much for coming from across the country today. It's really important, and I want to thank you first for your commitment. I know people have flown in from California and from Florida and from all over the nation, and we have with us folks from Fight for 15 and from SEIU who are committed to standing up for workers' rights, for dignity. I know many of you are taking a day off, not getting paid, coming in on your own time. And that's a big commitment. I mean, I see some of the kids here, amazing to see the commitment of the whole family to help fight for everyone in the country for a fair wage. And I think that's the important thing. If there's one message I think I hope people get in as we hear some of these incredible stories. I got to hear some of the most moving stories. We did one of these in San Jose, and I got to hear from people. But one of the key points is we're not asking here for charity or compassion. We're asking for justice. The people are working hard, they're producing a lot of value, and they're not getting paid for that. And they're not getting treated with the dignity that comes with that work. So this is asking for something so fundamental. And I am encouraged because here in Congress, some things start to work out, some things get stalled. Unfortunately, the PRO Act has been stalled. The PRO Act would give every worker in America the right to form a union, the right to have basic wages, the right to have security in the workplace. But because we haven't been able to move the PRO Act, one of the things we can do is to encourage, support, highlight workers in the different states who are making progress. In my home state of California, I'm so proud of the efforts that SEIU and the Fight for 15 and all of you are leading to have basically a council for fast food workers so that people can have basic fairness. And, it's pretty simple, the type of stories I've heard, that you have to come in to work at a McDonald's at 8 o'clock, but they don't pay you till 9 o'clock. I mean, that's the example of wage theft, or that people's hours are being cut because they speak up about workplace violence. These are the things that need to end, and if we can create this council in California, it'll be transformative, not just for fast food workers in California, but for fast food workers across the country. It'll be a model. So SEIU has been such a leader in this and so extraordinary in this effort. And so I want to start us off by introducing Leslie Frayne, who's the Executive Vice President of SEIU's Healthcare Division. Leslie, can you give us an overview of the moment we're in right now?
Yes, and thank you so much, Congressman Khanna, and thanks to everyone for taking the time to join with us today. Working people across this country are in crisis. Wages aren't keeping up with the rising cost of living, and frontline workers, once heralded as essential, struggle every day to stay safe and healthy and to provide for themselves and their families. While billion-dollar corporations make record profits for shareholders and executives, they manipulate our broken system of labor laws to prevent workers from unionizing, effectively blocking workers' path to the one thing that makes it possible for them to demand and win their fair share. Recent polls show that 68% of workers in this country say that they want a union, but we know that only 6% of workers in the private sector in this country actually have a union, a statistic that provides compelling evidence of just how broken our labor laws truly are. That's the bad news. The encouraging news is that even as we enter a new phase of the COVID pandemic, working people from coast to coast are rising up and demanding change. In their work sites and at the State House, workers are demanding the right to bargain to improve their jobs and their ability to support their families. Meeting that demand is only possible if corporate employers dramatically change their behavior, and, equally important, if elected officials change the rules to hold those corporations accountable. Today, we're joined by service and care workers from across the country who will brief you on their bold, innovative efforts to build power by organizing across industries for a seat at the table with their employers. These workers are the experts in their industries: fast food, home care, airports. We hope that their stories illuminate the realities that working people face day in and day out. But before hearing from these brave workers, I'd like to invite Adam Shah, the National Policy Director of Jobs with Justice, to share his analysis of the current moment that workers are in and the challenges that they face. Adam.
Thank you so much, and I'm so excited to be here with such energetic and motivated activists and workers. I was asked to give a perspective on this moment for U.S. working people. Simply put, this is a moment to take bold labor law reform to match the bold and brave actions taken by working people in the United States. On the federal level, a start would be, as Ro Khanna said, to pass the Protecting the Right to Organize, the PRO Act. But even without federal action, working people are energized, and there are important steps that policymakers on the state and local level can take to support and foster the workers in motion like all of you, such as the California Fast Recovery Act, AB 257. Today, you will hear from workers from across the nation, including fast food workers, who are not waiting for labor law reform, but demanding better standards and more voice in their economic lives. Why are state and local reforms necessary? As we just heard, more than 2/3 of Americans say they approve of labor unions, a level not seen since 1965, and most non-union workers in the United States say they would join a union tomorrow if they had the opportunity. And this isn't just something people are telling pollsters that you can take with a grain of salt, that we've all learned that polls aren't always accurate. This is a groundswell that's been building for years. I won't go into the history now because it would take a long time, but you can see the wave cresting right now, whether it's Amazon workers working for a union in voting for a union in Staten Island, and holding a too close to call election in Alabama, or Starbucks workers unionizing around the country, or all of the work that all of you guys are doing, and all the other unionization efforts. It's just an amazing amount of mobilization. The National Labor Relations Board says that petitions for union elections have dramatically increased this year, and that's in addition to a dramatic increase last year. You can see it in workers leaving bad jobs for better ones in ways that have shocked the restaurant and other industries. Clearly, working people are fed up. Workers are fed up with income inequality. Workers are fed up with terrible jobs. Workers are fed up with their lack of power, dignity, and voice in their economic lives. Unfortunately, there's another stark reality. As we also just heard, union membership is paltry 6% in the private sector and 10% of all workers. This is down from 50% from where it was in the 1980s, and it's even more of a decrease from where it was in the 1960s, the last time unions were as popular as they are now. To sum up, theoretically, most working people have a federal right to join labor unions, most approve of labor unions, most want to join a union, but the overwhelming majority of workers in the United States are not in a union. This is such clear evidence that the laws are broken. Not only that, but even when working people experience success using the current system, they find the system is still stacked against them. Starbucks workers are winning more than 80% of their unionization elections, but still the vast majority of Starbucks workers are ununionized because of how many stores there are. In addition, Starbucks refuses to bargain with workers who have voted for a union. A similar process is played out in Staten Island, where Amazon refuses to bargain with workers after they voted for a union. This is why Jobs with Justice stands alongside labor unions and many other organizations in calling on the Senate to pass the PRO Act, which the House, to its credit, has passed with a bipartisan majority and would solve many, although not all, of the problems that are the barriers and the rigged system. Unfortunately, the Senate seems unlikely to pass the bill anytime soon. So we have to look at other ways to improve the rights of working people, improve industry standards, and give working people a voice in this economy. One of the most promising reform ideas is the California Fast Recovery Act, AB 257, which has passed the California Assembly and is awaiting action in the state Senate and eventually, hopefully, the governor. The Fast Recovery Act has many important provisions, including holding companies like McDonald's to account for wage theft and other abuses of working peoples, which they try to dodge right now. But most importantly, for today's purposes, the bill would create a council that would set sector-wide minimum standards for the fast food industry. Through the council, workers would have a real voice in how their sector functions, forcing both government and industry to listen to, respond to, and implement the solutions working people come up with themselves. It is an innovative way to give workers a voice in sectoral standard setting. Before I conclude, I have a warning. Working people will not stand by if we let this moment pass. Workers are way ahead of policymakers. Policymakers have been surprised and shocked by what workers have done and tried to put labels on it, like Striketober or the Great Resignation, and there are many others, only to learn that they didn't really understand what workers are actually doing. But workers also see the backlash coming. People are claiming that workers are to blame for inflation, flight delays, low staffing at restaurants. I could go on and on. They want to trigger a recession in order to change the situation. They want to force workers to go back to accepting the old normal. Let me say this, if inflation is curbed and staffing issues dealt with by putting in place policies that force workers back into abusive, low-paying jobs with no way to make their voices heard, well, it's hard to predict the exact consequences, but it won't be good for the people in power who didn't use their power to help workers. To end on a more positive note, though, let me stop talking and turn the floor over to the real experts, workers who have found creative ways to organize, make their voices heard on the job, and win real power, even with the system stacked against them. They can tell you better than I can what policy makers need to hear and what they need to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Adam. Thank you for your leadership. I completely agree with you that workers are well ahead of policymakers. And thank you, Leslie, for your leadership on all of the efforts of organizing SEIU workers across the country, particularly in healthcare. And I know Michelle Healy is here, and of course Mary Kay Henry, and I want to just acknowledge their leadership for SEIU. Let's give them all a round of applause. I want to just acknowledge Selene on my team, who has really helped convene us here and get this hearing, which is so important to have workers' voices. So thank you, Selene, for your leadership. I now want to open it up to hearing from the workers themselves. You know, when we go in and you get a cup of coffee at McDonald's or fries, you don't think about often the conditions of the people who are actually serving us. And we need to hear about how some of the workers who are doing this day in and day out, how they're being treated, how they're being compensated, and the injustices that they are facing. So with that, our first testimonial is going to come from Bertha Bradley, a Up fast food worker.
Good morning, good morning. My name is Bertha Bradley, but you can call me Mama Cookie. I'm from Durham, North Carolina. I've been a proud member of Raise Up and Fight for 15 and a union for almost 10 years, but I've been fighting for longer than that. By speaking up and organizing our movement has won raises for millions of people in this country, not just fast food workers, but there's a lot we are still fighting for. I've been a fast food worker for over 3 decades, and I've never had a seat at the table. Right now, I work at a small fast food restaurant. I worked at Wendy's for 20 years plus until I got injured at work because of unsafe conditions. I slipped and fell in the freezer on ice. It was 3 inches thick. You think they cared? No, they told me I had to continue to work my shift that day. Even though I hurt my back, they didn't care. I was in terrible pain. When I finally went to the urgent care that night, I learned that my injury was serious, really serious. I needed back surgery right away. Was supposed to be out of work for 6 months. Wendy's never showed any concern for my health or my safety. This is just one example of what we see over and over as fast food workers. These companies will always put profits above our safety. profits above our safety. We learn this lesson every day. During the pandemic, when companies cut corners with our safety. This is why we need a voice on the job and union rights. We cannot count on billion-dollar corporations to protect us at work, so we have to be able to protect ourselves. Like I said, I've been in the fast food industry for a long time. Back in the 70s, I was making $3.75 an hour, and that was a poverty wage. Today, the dollar amount may be different, but we are still making poverty wages. Even as Wendy's manager, I never, ever made a living wage. I always made less than $15 an hour. After 20 years, still didn't make 15. I can't even retire. 63 years old and I still can't retire because I never made enough money to save. Poverty is a form of violence to me. Poverty is a form of violence to me. That's why we're organizing. We don't just need to win $15 minimum wage. We need to shift the balance of power in this country. I'm saying it again. We need to shift the balance of power in this country. We need to change the rules and give working people some real power at work. Not just one employer, but across the whole industry. I was so proud to stand with my California brothers and sisters on June the 9th to tell California to pass AB 257. The bill will be a huge step forward for fast food workers in California. They will finally have a voice in the industry. AB 257 is a prime example of what we need in the South. In my home state, only 4% of workers are in unions. North Carolina is a right-to-work state, and there are powerful forces working hard every day to keep us from organizing and unionizing. You hear me? They're keeping us from organizing and unionizing. But that doesn't mean that we give up. We will keep fighting for our rights. I am asking Congress to make it easier for workers like me by passing the PRO Act and supporting legislation aid like AB 257. All workers deserve a seat at the table. I want to say thank you for hearing my story.
Thank you. Thank you, Mama Cookie. That was powerful. And I'll tell you what I find so powerful about what you're doing, because you said that you're in your early 60s. You've been doing this for 3 decades, and you haven't had a seat at the table, and you're fighting not just for you, you're fighting for the next generation so that those young folks don't have to have the same indignities that you suffered. And I admire that, and your voice is clear, and we just need to hear you and what you have to say. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We'll next hear from Tia Yana Pringles from, we have our special guest before the workers are the most important, but we have an very important person from Congress here, our chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus. I'll tell you, Pramila Jayapal has been an activist, as probably many of you know, for workers' rights, for immigrant rights, before she even got to Congress, before she got to Congress. And her presence here just in that capacity would mean a lot. But she also represents over 90 progressive members of Congress. So when she comes as the chair of the Progressive Caucus, and that's a big statement of solidarity with all of you who've come, Pramila, from all over the country, flown in to be here for this hearing. So with that, let me hand it over to our Madam Chair for her reflections.
Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ro, for your leadership. It's been amazing to watch all of the work that's been happening and to see what you've been doing in California. I am really proud, as Ro said, to represent Seattle. And we worked with the Fight for 15. Thank you, Fight for 15, because we were the first major city in the country to pass a $15 minimum wage, and it's because of you all. It's because of the movement. So we know very well that real change starts with the workers. It starts with people organizing. It starts with courageous folks who are telling their stories, walking out on the job. And this moment is so important for organizing. We're seeing it across the country. And certainly with the big employers that are in my district, Starbucks and Amazon, we are seeing, and they are headquartered in my district, but I have met with all of those workers who are organizing in these stores, Starbucks stores, at Amazon, in Seattle and around the country, because this is a moment where we have a real opportunity, and the opportunity comes out of crisis. And what do we know about organizing? It's that opportunity often, unfortunately, comes out of tragedy. It comes out of seeing workers on the front lines not getting what they deserve, not getting what you deserve. It comes from seeing workers on the front lines, particularly Black, brown, indigenous workers, who have borne the brunt of the COVID crisis, and yet now are still expected to go to work without adequate wages, without adequate benefits, without the things that every person should get for themselves. It's not really about what's a right, it's about what we deserve. It is a right, but it's also what we deserve. And I think we have, what you are doing is changing the entire framework for how we think about what we deserve. And so this moment for organizing and what you all are doing right now is so critical because everybody is watching. Everybody is watching. We have more people invested in the union movement than we've had in a long time. We have young people organizing right here on the Hill, but across the country in employers that have traditionally been anti-union. And we're making real headway. And so I really just wanted to be here to say that, you know, I think the kind of worker organizing that you're doing and the work that that all of you are sort of pushing forward is going to have enormous implications for workers across this country as we raise wages, we make sure that we're really organizing on the job, that we have workplace democracy, and that people recognize that nothing happens without workers. So I just want to say thank you. I'm sorry I can't stay for the whole panel, but Ro, really grateful for your leadership. Thank you to all of the folks who are here and to all of you who are going to help us keep this movement going and show that at the end of the day, when we organize, we win. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for coming by and standing with these workers and for your leadership on all of these issues. Really appreciate it. We'll now hear from Tiana Pringles, who's come all the way from Florida. Tiana, if you could please share your story and largely about how Florida had to go on a ballot proposal to win.
Hi, how everybody doing? My name is Tiana Pringle. I'm a fast food worker and a leader of the Fight for 15 in the union. I joined the movement 5 years ago because, like many other workers, I was frustrated with the low wages and the little protection we were receiving. During the pandemic, I worked for Popeyes in Tampa, Florida, making $10 an hour. So on May 19, 2021, I decided to use my voice, and I went on strike to demand better working conditions. Shortly after going on strike, Popeyes fired me. I was devastated. I was hurt. I consider myself close friends with the manager. I didn't think standing up to protect myself in the workplace would come to this. I didn't think my son, who was 5 years old at the time, and I was worried about how we was going to get through this. I had bills to pay, rent, lights, cable, phone bill, childcare, all the bills was due. Everything was spinning out of control and eventually got kicked out of our apartment. We had to move with my mom. It took me almost 5 months to find another job. What got me through it was knowing that when we strike together, we have power. And I knew it was illegal for Popeyes or any other employee to discriminate or retaliate against workers for exercising our rights. Workers have the rights to go on strike, talk about wages and working conditions. With the helpful fight team, Fight for 15 in the union, I quickly filed an unfair labor practice and then a lawsuit against Popeyes in Tampa and Sun Holding Inc., who manage over 1,200 other fast food restaurants and retail stores in 12 states. It was a long process, and I tried my best to be patient. I always believe that good things come to those who wait. After over a year of fighting, I received news that the NLRB was able to resolve my case. Popeyes will have to reinstate me. They would have to pay lost wages and most importantly require over 100 Popeyes and over 400 other stores, including Arby's, Burger King, CC's Pizza, and others to change their rules so that employees are able to talk about the union rights. Each store will have to post a notice so that all employees can read their rights. This is huge because I didn't feel that my case would make a difference in so many workers' lives. I'm proud that I took actions and held Popeyes accountable for their changing their policies in their stores. My story is just one of the examples of why workers in Fight for the 15 union speak up. It is having a voice can do why workers across the industry need a union. Workers need a voice to sit at a table to hold companies like Popeyes accountable so we can make real change. If there's any advice I can leave workers with today, don't be afraid to use your voice. Create a change in your workplace and your community. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Tiana. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for your courage, because you really endured a lot. I mean, having little wages and having to struggle with rent and all of the sacrifices you made because of the retaliation that you faced and the courage that you faced. But then by winning and having this win for unions, you've helped hundreds of thousands of workers across the state of Florida and as an example across the country. So let's give her a round of applause. Thank her for her courage. And thank you for sharing that story. You know, earlier this month, I was back home in Fremont and San Jose, which is in my district, and I got to hear some very moving stories from fast food workers in California, folks who worked at Jack in the Box, who worked at Burger King, McDonald's, talking about their experiences of having violence while they were serving, and their managers not doing anything about that violence, not even allowing them to take the day off. And it was incredibly moving. I'd encourage people who haven't seen it, it's online, I'm sure, to hear these workers' stories. And today we have fast food workers from my home state of California who are bringing their stories to Capitol Hill. They're organizing there to get this fast food council in the state so that, as Mama Cookie said, they could finally have a seat at the table, finally have a voice. And I'm honored that they're here. I'd like to first recognize Anisha Williams, who's come all the way from Los Angeles. And Anisha, if you could share your story.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Anisha Williams. Thank you for having me here today. This is like so honoring to actually sit here and discuss what we've been going through. That's why I'm so emotional. My name is Anisha Williams. I live in Los Angeles, California. I'm a Jack in the Box worker and I'm an in-home care provider. If you notice, I mentioned I work 2 jobs. In the state of California, I shouldn't be working 2 jobs just to make ends meet. I'm a single mother of 6. I'm struggling just to pay my rent and my bills. I have to rely on government assistance as well. I don't know if the landlord is going to kick me and my kids out soon. And that's why I'm scared, and that's why I'm here fighting so hard. Like more than 500,000 workers who represent a large, fast-growing group of low-wage poverty secured workers in the state of California. Women make up 2/3 of the fast food workers in California. Nearly 80% of us are colored. We have been working very hard for years just to make a statewide 15 minimum wage pass. It took the voice of the people to finally win. The struggles continue. We face unsafe work conditions, discrimination, harassment. Somebody had got killed on a job for $20, counterfeit money. Every time I collect a $20 bill in the drive-thru, I don't know if that's going to be my last day or not. We need to have a seat at the table to talk to our bosses directly so they can know how we feel. We need a say. We need a change. We now have a way with AB 257. We will keep fighting until we be heard. Thank you.
Thank you, Anisha. That was incredibly powerful. Thank you for your courage in sharing what you've gone through. You're really incredible. Your children will be very proud, your 6 kids, of what you're doing for them and what you're doing to fight for justice. And I'm sure one day they'll all hear your testimony here in the halls of Congress. So thank you for being here. Thank you for speaking out, and thank you for organizing in California. Let's give her a round of applause. I now want to recognize Ingrid Vilorio from Castro Valley. Ingrid, can you share your perspective and your story?
Hola a todos, mi nombre es Ingrid Vilorio. Trabajo para Jack in the Box.
I'm Ingrid Vilorio, and repita por favor.
Trabajo para Jack in the Box.
I work for Jack in the Box.
Quiero comenzar con algo muy importante.
I want to begin with something very important.
La Organización Internacional de Trabajo
The International Labor Organization
dice que los trabajadores debemos de tener un salario digno,
says that workers should have a living wage,
seguridad dentro de nuestros lugares de trabajo
safety in their workplaces,
y poder expresarnos libremente.
and be able to speak freely.
Quiero contarles un poco acerca de mi historia.
I'd like to tell you a little bit about my story.
En marzo del año pasado
In the past, in March,
tuve COVID.
I had COVID.
Yo soy madre de un niño especial.
I'm the mother of a special needs child,
Infecté a mi hijo porque él no entendía que no podía estar cerca de mí.
and my son became ill because he didn't understand that he couldn't be beside me when I was sick.
Hablé con mi empleador para decirle que tenía COVID y que no podía llegar al trabajo.
I called my employer to say that I had COVID and I could not come to work.
En ese momento él aceptó,
At that moment, he accepted,
pero luego tuve que entrar antes a trabajar, no terminé mi cuarentena.
but later I had to go back to work before completing my quarantine period
Porque él me necesitaba y yo decidí trabajar porque había estado en una situación económica bastante apretada.
because I was needed by him, and I also had great needs myself because I had been out of work for so long without pay.
Cuando llegué a mi trabajo le pregunté si yo podía tomar mis 3 días de enfermedad.
When I got to work, I asked if my 3 sick days could be paid.
Nosotros no contamos con un seguro de salud,
We don't have health insurance,
pero su respuesta fue que no tenía días de enfermedad.
but I was told that we didn't have a right to that.
Después pregunté si podía tomar las 2 semanas de COVID que el estado de California estaba dando.
I asked if I could be paid for the weeks in California that are due to people who've had COVID,
Pero su respuesta también fue que no podía hacerlo.
but the answer also was that that could not be done.
Después de unos meses, una compañera de trabajo me habló de la lucha por 15 y un sindicato.
Repite, por favor.
Después de unos meses, una compañera de trabajo me habló de la lucha por 15 y un sindicato.
After a few weeks, one of my fellow workers talked to me about the struggle for $15 minimum wage.
Yo y otros compañeros decidimos tomar acción.
I and other workers took action.
No nos estaban dando las herramientas necesarias para cuidarnos de COVID.
We were not being given the necessary tools to take care of ourselves to prevent COVID.
Y fue hasta entonces que nuestro empleador decidió pagarnos la cuarentena de COVID.
It was not until then that my employer decided to pay me for the time I had missed because of COVID.
Yo he sufrido de robo de salario,
I have suffered greatly with this situation of low wages.
de robo de tiempo de descanso,
I have not been paid for my days off,
como muchos trabajadores de comida rápida.
as many other workers suffer the same in fast food jobs.
Pero este día estamos aquí en DC,
But we're here today in DC,
es la capital de la democracia,
the capital of democracy.
y necesitamos de su ayuda.
We need your help.
California está a punto de aprobar una ley que beneficiará a 500,000 de trabajadores de comida rápida.
California is about to pass a law to support fast food workers.
Pero no solo beneficiará a 500,000 de trabajadores, sino también a nuestras familias.
But this is not just support for the workers, but our families as well.
Necesitamos un asiento en la mesa.
We need a seat at the table.
Por eso necesitamos la AB 257.
That's why we need your support.
Pero California está a punto, pero necesitamos que todo el país tenga una protección para los trabajadores de comida rápida.
California is one state, but we need the entire country to have protection for fast food workers.
Necesitamos que todos los Estados Unidos tengan la AB 257 para los trabajadores de comida rápida.
We need that for the entire United States to approve AB 257, like this is happening in California.
Actualmente tenemos, los trabajadores de comida rápida no tenemos un amparo porque nuestros empleadores han decidido poner sus leyes.
At this point, fast food workers do not have support because the managers, the owners have set up their own set of laws.
No contamos con protecciones,
Repita.
no contamos con ninguna protección,
We do not have dignified protection,
pero esperamos que este día ustedes hagan ese cambio.
but we hope that today you will support us in achieving this.
Y puedan decirle que sí a la AB 257.
And yes, I'm sorry, I can't.
Y puedan decirle que sí a la AB 257.
And say yes to AB 257.
Gracias.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Ingrid. You obviously have gotten the crowd going, and I think they're responding, everyone, to your agency, your sense that we can do something, we can change this. You and other workers in California have done that with the $15 wage, and you're now doing that and pushing for AB 257. And I think this common theme of that all that workers want here is a seat at the table, which you said and so many others have said is sums it up very, very nicely. So I am just inspired. I'm inspired. The Fight for 15 now is in its 10th year, and a lot of progress has been made. A lot of progress still needs to be made, but we should not give away to despair, because all of your activism, your leadership is making a difference, and we're very close to passing this in California with a council for fast food workers. That will be a historic achievement when we do that. I now want to recognize again Leslie Frayne, who's going to help us focus on the second half of the program with workers.
Thank you so much. I am filled with hope and confidence that we can make transformative change to bring justice to working people throughout this country. And that's because of the leadership of workers like those you've heard from this morning, but also because of elected champions like Congressman Ro Khanna. So thank you so much for your leadership.
Thank you.
Now we're going to shift to hear from some workers in other parts of our economy. Fast food is just one example of an industry where outsized, unchecked corporate power has left workers demanding more accountability and a stronger voice in the process. Cassandra Kemp is a nursing home worker from Michigan, and LaShonda Barber is a North Carolina airport worker, and they will shine a light on their fights to improve standards in those two industries. So let me turn it over to Cassandra.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Cassandra Kemp. I'm from Flint, Michigan. I am a CNA. I've been a CNA for 4 years. I'm also a wound care tech. I started working at Skilled Nursing Home in Bloomfield Hills of Michigan. During the peak of COVID, it was like a war zone. We are facing a pattern of serious problems that has persisted over a long period of time. Myself and my coworkers have suffered inhumane work conditions by being understaffed, overworked, and underpaid. Things are not getting better, and it seems Skilled seems to care more about profits and budgets than quality patient care and safe work conditions. Failure from management to guarantee these things, despite union-busting tactics from facility management, intimidation, interrogation, and unreasonable discipline. We were determined to stand up for ourselves and our residents by going on strike. Every worker should be able to have a union so that they can have a say in their work conditions. No one knows our job better than we do as frontline workers. We are the ones putting it all on the line to provide quality care for our patients. Healthcare workers need a say in the conditions we work in, standards that surround me and my health, and my job security. Across nursing homes nationwide, we need higher pay wages, better staffing ratios, and improving work conditions so that we can provide the highest quality of care to our patients. We have been diligent, patient, and consistent. Now we need to be recognized. Every worker should be able to have a union so that they can have a say in their work conditions. For too long, decisions have been made about the industry by people who don't have to put their health and safety on the line like we do. Workers need more power to make decisions about how our industry is run. We are allowing our faith to be bigger than our fears when Michigan Governor Whitmer established the Nursing Home Workforce Stabilization Council to bring workers to the table with employers and government to collaborate on industry-wide solutions. Every elected official should use their power to make decisions that impact our lives and our work to hold corporate America accountable. With a seat at the table, workers can help lead the way for a better future with quality jobs and quality care for all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Cassandra. Throughout the pandemic, I know there is no group of workers who've experienced more grief and more loss than the people who take care of frail and elderly nursing home residents. So thank you for the work that you do every day, for standing up for yourself, your coworkers, and the people that you take care Before we go to LaShonda, we've been joined by two more champions for the rights of working people in this country. I want to particularly appreciate Representative Dingell, Representative Schakowsky, who have just been long for warriors for justice and specifically for the rights of workers to have a voice through unionization. And we'd love to hear from each of you for a few minutes. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, okay. You got the Workers United SEIU part, right? Yeah, okay, that's good. The other thing is that I come here having paid my dues for my arrest in front of the Supreme Court last week, fighting for women's reproductive rights. Yeah. Taking John Lewis's, get in trouble, good trouble. And I also want to say that I have been arrested along with SEIU in city of Chicago at McDonald's, fighting for higher wages for... Oh yeah, and I also try and pass good legislation. But civil disobedience definitely has its place. So I just want to thank you for the incredible work building a workers-powered movement across the country. We haven't seen anything like it recently. We now see a 56% increase in union election petitions before the NLRB. So we are seeing a renaissance, I think, of labor and an era of power of labor. I wish I could tell you today, and I think Debbie will talk more about this, all the fight that we have been making, especially for home care workers, for nursing home workers. We were not able to see that in the reconciliation bill. But this fight goes on, and it is a fight that we will win because we have to win. When we have home care workers making something like an average of $12 an hour, that is a shame in this richest country in the world, in jobs that are the most precious and important that we could have in our country. So I thank you for all the incredible work that you're doing. But we are seeing great strides. We are seeing great organizing. We just need to keep that up. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody. I first want to thank Ro, my wonderful colleague that I work with on so many things, for moderating this morning and being with all of you. And my sister, Jan Schakowsky, who chairs the Seniors Task Force for Democrats. I'm her lieutenant as vice chair, and she is all three of us work very hard on these issues and care deeply. And I know Michigan's in the room. I'm Cassandra. Yay! So thank you. So SEIU and SEIU everywhere is fabulous, but I love my SEIU and Michigan. We do a lot of work together. This is, it's really important that you're all here. This issue is obviously we need to make sure that care matters, caregiving matters. All other work is possible when the person you love is cared for. And we all know that for too long, caregivers have never had a priority placed on them. They haven't made enough money. I think that the most important job we have in our country, and we haven't given them enough attention. It became very personal for me when the man that I love, and I still miss every single day, John began to have mobility problems, and very stubborn, very independent. Didn't want, anybody who knows him knows that, and didn't want anybody with him And I needed to find people that would be willing to stay with him, respect him. And at the end, like, his life was in their hands. I mean, his brain was there every second until he died. But the last few weeks were particularly challenging. But as I worked with those people that became my family, and they are still my family today, Christine will never not be my family, you begin to realize all of the, you know, we all theoretically have these conversations, but until you're living it, you don't understand that you all are not being paid a decent wage. I pay a decent wage, just for the record, and I pay benefits too. I mean, that's what you do. But many of them were working 2, 3 jobs and still living below the poverty line. Again, I sort of didn't, I was going through an agency on some, and there was one woman that was going in and out of 4 different places. And I mean, when the pandemic hits, I really cared about a lot of these long-term care facilities, and they actually became a carrier because they're walking from one place to another, and nobody cared about them. You all, the caregivers for long-term care, nobody cared if they got PPE equipment, if they got masks, if they got gloves, they got gowns. Hey, you're on your own. There's no institution looking out for you, and that's also just dead wrong. So we've worked very hard. Jan and Ro have been partners. Senator Casey has been an incredible partner in the Senate in trying to get home-based care over the finish line, which would give you the respect that you need and treat you with dignity and the integrity that you should be treated with. And it would also allow people, seniors and people with disabilities, to stay in their own homes in the community and be where they want, which everybody should be able to do. And in the end, it would cost less money. Unfortunately, we saw a version or a draft of the Manchin bill last night, and look, there are things in it. I'm happy we're making progress on climate change and some other issues. Healthcare, lowering prescription drug, there are a lot of affordable care. You know, there are too many states where people still can't afford to go to a doctor, which, by the way, someday we're also going to get Medicare for all, so that when you're sick in this country, you're going to be able to go. Another one of mine. But we got it through the House. You got a champion in Senator Casey who is never going to give up. I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat. You have somebody that you love and that you care about and that you want to make sure has hope and is treated with dignity and respect as they get older. We're not going to stop. We're not going to give up. I still am going to try to get it done this year. But you know what? If you don't get it done, you go back at it. You know, I say this to people. Most people don't realize that my father-in-law was actually one of the authors of Social Security. And he introduced the first universal health care bill in 1940. And it took from 1940 to 1965 to get Medicare. After we got Medicare, we got CHIPS, Children's Health Insurance Program, we got the Affordable Care Act, and we are going to get it before Jan, Ro, and I retire, Medicare for all. We're going to get this done. That's why it's important you're here. It's why it's important you go home every single day and keep up the fight. Progress doesn't come in as direct a way as we want it to come sometimes, but if you don't give up, you know what has to happen. You keep your eye on what the policy needs to be. We are going to get it done. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for your inspiring comments, Representative Dingell, Representative Schakowsky, for your leadership on behalf of long-term care workers and the people that they take care of everywhere. The tenacity that you spoke of runs in the blood of every SEIU member, every Fight for 15 activist, and I agree with you. Together, we're going to get it done. Next, we're going to hear from LaShonda Barber. LaShonda is an airport worker in Charlotte, North Carolina, and a leader fighting for the passage of the Good Jobs and Good Airports Act of 2022. This is a piece of federal legislation that would ensure better wages for airport workers across the country and add accountability to the public resources already being invested in airports to ensure that they support the largely Black, brown, and immigrant-led workforce while making our airports safer and more secure by lowering turnover and increasing the number of trained frontline workers in our airports. So, LaShonda.
Hey everyone, my name is LaShonda Barber. I am an international trash truck driver. I work for an airline contractor called Jetstream. I empty trash for international flights for American Airlines. It's tough work lifting heavy trash bags throughout the day and throwing them over my shoulder. I have carpal tunnel syndrome, but this job has made it worse. I have a lot of back, hand, and shoulder pain. My coworkers and I have to take Tylenol or ibuprofen constantly just to get through the day. We know passengers are frustrated with the airlines right now, but I want people to know that we're hurting too. That's why we're fighting for a union, 32BJ, not American. And for the wages and benefits that we deserve. We're short-staffed because the pay and the benefits are not enough for what we do. People don't stay. A lot of the times, it's just me and another driver taking trash off the planes. And sometimes we're asked to help the cabin cleaners to clean planes because there aren't enough cleaners. Lately, there have been more quick turns, which means they only have 5 minutes to clean the plane. There has been a lot of bad weather that has caused delays lately, and when that happens, the whole ramp closed down and the planes can't land. But when it opens up again, all the planes come in at once, and we have to run from plane to plane, getting them ready so they can take off again. There's no respect for us, for our time, or for our work. I am the sole supporter for my mother and 16-year-old son, and I also help my daughter with my grandbaby. I can't support my family on what I earn, and I don't have any savings for our future. I have to do overtime just to barely survive. Even with working 65 hours a week, sometimes my mortgage is late. I dream of being able to do something nice for myself, but I can't. We don't get enough paid time off, which has been hard during the pandemic. I had to quarantine and stay home from work because my mom got sick with COVID. That set me back on my bills. If we don't take the trash out of the planes, the passengers can't get on the planes and take off on time. We're doing all the work. Why can't we get some of the profits? Like I said, there's no respect for us, for what we do. We're doing the hard, dirty work no one else do. We need airlines to step up and make sure we earn enough so we can support our families. Workers and travelers are at a breaking point. Congress must act now or the workers' shortage in the crisis, and our airports will get worse and worse. Thank you.
Thank you, LaShonda. You know, airport jobs used to be good jobs in this country, and that's not true anymore, and it's no coincidence that as the quality of those jobs went down, the percentage of workers who do them who are Black, brown, and immigrant has gone up, and that's just wrong. And together we're going to change it and help LaShonda realize her dream.
Thank you.
I want to thank LaShonda, but to thank all of the workers who had the courage to share their stories today, and all of you for coming, including not just the workers, but your children as well. I also want to appreciate the members of Congress who joined us. We're going to win, and we're going to win because of workers and because of champions like the 4 members of Congress we heard from today. I think the stories that we've heard from all of you have made abundantly clear how urgent it is that we make serious changes in this country, serious changes that guarantee the right of every worker in this country to have a seat at the table, to organize a union, and to earn the kinds of standards that we need to support ourselves and our families with dignity. We reject a system that's built on workers' backs, that's built on the backs of Black women, that's built on the backs of immigrant workers, that's built on intergenerational poverty, built on treating working people like they're expendable, and built on dividing us by race. Our fight is about creating a new set of rules that put workers where they belong, at the center. The legislation and the organizing efforts that workers talked about today show us what can be possible when workers have a seat at the table. Our demands are clear. Respect us, protect us, and pay us. You know, those demands are not too much. They're the minimum of what every worker in this country should have. Being paid enough to feed our families, that's a minimum. Safe working conditions, that's the minimum. A seat at the table and a voice on the job without fear of retaliation, that's the minimum. I hope that the stories that we've shared today inspire all of us to think big. Laws like AB 257 in California, like the Good Jobs and Good Airports Act, and the Standards Board established in Michigan for nursing home workers, they're great models, and they're just the beginning. At the federal level, we urgently need to pass the PRO Act, and we must be ready to go even further. Lawmakers have the tools at their disposal to hold large corporations accountable. Together, we must do everything we can to ensure that all work is safe and dignified. Thank you so much to all of you for joining us here today.